Hello, my name is Gemma. I am an advanced cultist, a criminologist, mummy of two. So, interesting turn of events. I shall be talking about this. What is it? It's the Kabbalah. Not to get confused with shamanism or Celtic traditional stuff. This is a Jewish concept. This is a Jewish religious underpinning called the Kabbalah. And this is the tree of life, that they call it. There's not to get confused with all the other traditions, religions, or underpinnings, right? There's a reason. This is older, very old, than the, this is not meant to be a trap, okay? So, I was talking about this, I do talk about this in my theory of the crown, okay? So what's the crown? There's the crown, okay? So this is what I'm talking about. Theory of the crown, finding your halo, okay? This is what I mean. It's that. It's the Kita. It's the crown. That's what it's called. And it's one. And it's really interesting because I reached crown and it's a beautiful experience. And it is profound, okay? So I'm going to quickly go down this on what it means. So this is the kingdom. This is like the lowest point. I think it's the highest, wouldn't you? Kingdom? It's not, it's 10. It's Malkuth. And then this one is the foundation. This is Yesod. This one's victory. Number 7. This one's Hod, which is splendor, which is 8. This one's beauty. And this one is Yesod, which is mercy. This one's Gabriella, which is strength. This one is wisdom, which is Chokmah. And this one's understanding, which is Binah. And this one's crown. Okay? So, it's beautiful. I think it has a way of telling us how our brain can work. Okay? I think it's a mind connection to the mind, the body, and the soul, and our emotions, most importantly. And I believe that's how it became a religious underpinning. And I believe this is a self-development process. So sometimes you'll see a man stood in there and he'll have his arms up and his legs straight across. And this would be within it, okay? And they use this as to understand your body, different parts of the body as well, and all sorts of stuff, right? But I'm going to quickly go down how you can possibly reach beauty. Okay. And I want to talk about Jacob's ladder and just quickly go down on that one. So you can get to beauty. A lot of women will get to beauty having children. Simple. Will get to beauty just having children. Okay. I think this might be something used within society, but I'm not sure. Under a guise of criminology, under a guise of the justice system, okay? I think it's in a different way, and so yeah, I'll get into that another time. But you can rise to beauty just by having children, okay? This is interesting, okay? Because, especially if you're, I think this one's kindness. So if you reach beauty, kindness is there, and judgment is there. So you're always like in an aspect of self-judgment, and you're always in an aspect of kindness. Okay, so there's judgment, kindness, and there's the baby type thing. Okay, so it's almost like as parents you self-regulate, don't you? Okay, so this is where you're at. Okay, but it's also like if you're a judge or something, because this is judgment, and if you just stay there and you don't understand this aspect or go higher, then it's kind of, I don't know, you're missing the point, right? So crown isn't always a bad thing as well. It's not always about punishment. Okay, because in understanding our own self-development, to take away society, we understand ourselves and the self-development process. We understand we can reach that, and how is it done? Remembering trauma. Okay, so you can get to here, and then go through here, this one, which is the darkness, which is Darth, and this is like a Jacob's ladder concept, and this is where we rise, release trauma. Here, okay, so this is like the back part of our brain. They say hit the pineal gland. So what it is supposedly, but it's what we do is, in my understanding, is that if you remember trauma, you remember it through this part, and you go back down, and then you come to your own judgment and your own kindness for yourself. And then what you can do then is you can actually rise to understanding. So you understand the trauma. It's not your fault. Okay, so you rise to there, and then this is where the wisdom comes. Okay, so it's almost like you can rise to this through having this process. Okay, so this is how you rise Jacob's ladder. You go up, but it's this part here. So this is you can underpin this as a Scottish Rite, and it has 7 on it. Well, it's not, it doesn't say it, but it does in English. It says it's got that sign, and I think it's possibly this one here. Okay, this is the triad, Scottish Rite. This is why it's a symbol of this, and it's got a 7 in it. So this is how it's underpinned, because it has this here. Okay, this is the Scottish Rite in between. That's the 7 bar. It's in a different language, but it's there if you can see it. Probably can't, but anyway. So this all together is almost like you're rising, okay, through trauma as well, because you can rise through these parts or stay in the kingdom for a long time or all your life. You might never reach this in a self-development process. You might never reach. It's not your fault though. It's up to you, isn't it, if this lifetime. But everyone should be aiming for this. Ultimately, this is what we're supposed to be going for, and you can do it by yourself. But there are obviously people who teach this, and it's a cult, and it's, the Scottish Rite, Freemasonry, stuff like this, or the Judea. Okay, but the Judea is more fixed on like rituals and things like that, and sticking to the Torah, whereas that's a Bible, or is it the content to a Bible? It's the Torah. I shouldn't say that. But it's like the Bible in Christian religion, but I can understand the Torah as the Torah, the Torah. So it's almost like a body connection. We have an energy field that goes around us. It's called the Torah, okay? But there's a book. It's got a lot of stuff in it. It's kind of similar to the Bible. Some things are in there that's similar, and it's sort of like, that's how I can understand how it connects. Because I don't think everything's there. I don't follow something completely by the book. So that's my understanding of that. I don't follow something completely by the book, because we all come to our own conclusions. And this is what's really important about this, is that we all come to our own conclusions. Women can have babies and get to there. You can have a fulfilling career and end up getting to here. And you know, what happens there though is that you're only halfway up that tree. And this is understanding and underpinning of, if you're only halfway up that tree, it's unable for you to understand or gain wisdom from the experiences that you're having. You know what I mean? So you can't reach them. You're just doing this. So some people can just end up being here, where they're full of judgment for other people because they're judging themselves and they don't want to see their own stuff. And then this one is like where they can be thankful and stuff like that as well. So you can be kind, but there's like judging other people as well. So you might end up just doing this, stuck here, too busy judging other people and yourself and not yourself as well. Okay, so you push it onto other people, not realise what you've done. So you can end up falling just back down to foundation and end up back to the kingdom, doing stuff like that. So then you gotta rise again, try to find understanding. But then if you hit judgment and you're judging yourself, and then you push it onto other people, you just fall back down again. And just fall back straight back down. There's no aspect of rising to that. If you're and you have to go through this process as well if you want to reach this. So you can end up here doing this, but if you need to pass this. This is Jacob's ladder. So what's that? Well, I can understand this Jacob's ladder as a Freemason concept. Now I would understand this as rising, remembering trauma. Okay, that box. Okay, I haven't got a picture of it, but there's a box and it's like it's like a ladder. It's called Jacob's ladder as well. And it goes up and then you don't hit it first straight away. But it's almost like you've got to hit these places and then go there. Okay? So it's almost like you have to gain wisdom and understanding before you can even reach this. Otherwise, when you reach it, well, it don't make no sense. So you have to be delicate with people that are doing this as well. Like, you got to understand, like, mental health institutions, things like this. You have to be delicate with people like this for this process, because if you're just pushing judgment on somebody, you're here and this person's up here, you can't help that person. You're not going to understand anything because you're here. You're not here or here. You haven't gone there yet. So you can't help that person. Okay? This is how you can understand where some people might be able to help you and some people can't. And it's just because generally, if you're pushing judgment on people, you'll never understand what they're going through. They're in a different level to you. They're on a different hierarchy to you, ethically. So, this is why you might get on with some people, get on with other people. Sometimes I've seen this, and it's like people there, and, it's nice. People like here are nice, but then they'll slip into this, judgment. They'll seem nice, and then all of a sudden slip into judgment. And, they fall back down here. They'll end up back in foundation, in Malkuth. And if you've got people teaching the wrong teachings as well, they'll always fall back down to here. And another thing is, I've noticed, is if you collapse the tree, like a womb, like a baby in the womb, collapse the tree. Once you got to here, it can collapse. And what happens is, you're in a kingdom, a crown, and understand what everyone else is going through. And if you've collapsed it, you'll always be able to understand the judgments that are being passed, because you collapsed the whole tree onto itself. Obviously not broken it, but it's like a baby in the womb where they're squished together. So it's almost like we already have this intact when we come in here. So this is another thing. It's already intact, in my understanding anyway, in my life, personally, because I've reached crown. So I understand this. And what it is I've had traumatizing experiences that's trapped me, okay? Which is everybody. Like, you can have a car crash, or you can have, like, you know, anything could happen. Like, just use this as an example. And you might not remember it because you were so little, and then it comes back to you. Ugh. Oh, what happened? I don't know. Or whatever. If you was driving your car and you just had a PTSD, like, oh no, I thought I crashed my car. No, it's nothing. You haven't crashed it. You stopped. It's fine. You know. Or you parked up, and then you get confused. You're like, oh, did I crash my car? Like, and you just think, no, you didn't crash your car because you was actually fine. So you stopped. But you might have that in your memory, like, because you've had an experience and it's traumatizing event. So what that person's done is gone up here and then got back down again, and they're trying to make it make sense because they've gone back down here, messing about at judgment and kindness, trying to figure it out, and then they go back up here to wisdom and then understanding. They're like, oh yeah, actually, it's okay. I'm still alive. I didn't die when I was younger in that car crash. I know what happened to me. I understand what happened to me. I remember. And then it's wisdom, and it's like, oh, right, so yeah, I've got to be careful when I'm driving. Or it's almost like an aspect of learning. It's like a pearl of wisdom, you know. Wisdom is a pearl. It's like the pearls are the wisdom that you bring forth in this life experience. And then you can go back down to beauty and then rise to crown, but you've already done it. So you just go from wisdom to crown, understanding, to crown. So this is really important. I want to get to is that we are born into this world with it intact, and we can lose it through traumatizing experiences, and we have to rise. Jacob's ladder, trauma, go back down, figure it out here. But if you don't have good emotional support, or if you can't comprehend it, it can go really wrong for you at this stage. You have to have supportive people there, okay, to help you rise to here, okay? You don't fall back down just because you remember trauma. You have to keep going. You have to understand the process, and you have to gain that wisdom to reach crown. Because when you do this, you find yourself again. This is almost like an aspect of innocence. So this is what I wanted to talk about. This is what I'm talking about when I talk about my theory of the crown and finding your halo. Okay? So that's what I wanted to really go down on that and just give a basic understanding of what it means, what I'm actually talking about. So there's many interpretations to take from it, but this is just mine. And, you know, just be careful about who you're listening to, because I might just be wrong. It's just my 2 cents. Okay? I'm just sharing it because I just want people to know, like, from my lens, so that maybe people might be able to understand their own life if they can connect with me. But don't follow like a follower, just be careful about who you sort of listen to. I listen to seminars. I listen to seminars, educational seminars, and Jewish rabbis. That's where I get my knowledge from. And I just listen to it, and it makes things click in my brain. And this is an aspect, again, of understanding and wisdom, okay? Some things I just think is absolutely, like, down here somewhere, and I'm just like, I can't listen to this. But I think that's more like a kingdom concept, which is a physical, and it's more like, you know, a ritualistic basis, like, you can't eat, and certain times of day, stuff like that. I just think that's a bit too far. I mean, I'll eat when I need to eat. My body tells me. And this is an aspect of self-development again. So I always go back to this. It's always important to me because this is more inclined to be a self-development process. And some people need it. We all need it. But some people more than most. If you see it and it's really interesting, then, I would look into it. But if you don't and you think it's absolute garbage, then don't. Anyway, this is just my 2 cents on the Kabbalah, the tree, and just how to climb it. It's little bits. Take care. I am Gemma. I am an occultist, and I'm a criminologist, and I'm a mummy of 2. Take care.